Right. Welcome to Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Romo Athletics and powered by the Rolla Athletic Booster Club. I'm your host, Tom Brown. And today we got Lady Bulldogs head coach, Charley Parker. Coach, thanks for being here.
Yep, thanks for having me.
So, wow, I mean, season's kind of, it came real quick. We talked about that before, man, the Jamboree, then that first game at the Bluefish Shootout. And then now we've had this lull before your next round games. It's going to be the Carthage Invitational. But let's flash back now to the season opener, home opener against Cap City at the Bluefish Shootout. Start off a real kind of a surprising game and was tied at 10 at the end of the first quarter. I mean, we were getting all the shots we wanted. They just weren't dropping.
Yeah, and that game went about how I thought it would go. I mean, we have 5 of our 7 girls on there that is seeing the varsity floor for the first time. Playing significant minutes there, and we just had to get the jitters out. All the girls was nervous before the game, and we had talked about that afterwards, and we was tied there at the end of the first quarter, 10-10, and we was getting shots. They just wasn't falling. Everything was quick. The game was so fast at that point in time. We couldn't slow ourselves down. Shots was a little quick. But we settled down the second quarter and kind of changed defenses on them. And I think we scored 25 points in the second quarter, and that kicked us off. We got going, and we kind of settled down after that and started playing well.
Yeah, and defensively, I think, you were kind of, you're giving up a lot of size. We know that. But, defensively, it's a little bit different this year. You got some athletes, you got some length from your guard positions and some anticipation. And, you got a freshman coming up that's got good length. And you held them to 10 points in the first and second quarter, and then 8 points and then 9 points for the rest, in each of the next quarters. So your defense really kind of came out and played, and as your offense kind of took a little while to get going, but then your offense just got it going.
Yeah, and that's something I've always been about, is just preaching defense, and we work a lot on defense. Most of our practice is defense, and leading up to defense, what our expectations are. But this is probably my 13 years of coaching. This is probably the first group of kids that I've ever had. Every one of them have bought in to staying down for an entire possession and talking entire possessions. Like, if you watched our game the other night, you seen us down in the stand. Everyone was down in the stance the whole possession. They didn't give up. They stayed down. They stayed down. They stayed down, and they talked and talked and talked. And that's something that they're holding each other accountable on as well, because they understand. We talk about it and, like, hey, in order for what we lost last year, in order for us to be as good as we were last year, we have to do the small detailed things, and that's part of it. And they see it and they've bought into it, and they're taking it now and running with it on their own. You can hear them at practice, saying, "Hey, we got to talk more. Hey, get down, get down, get down." And they're buying into it right now, and it's fun watching it.
Yeah, you could tell. We were talking about that up in the stands watching the game, and just how they played. Then the anticipation of as they played their defense and they moved and they're nice, staying in that passing lane, and the ability to anticipate and get those deflections. Their hands were active all night, but it was a disciplined activity. It wasn't just lunging for the basketball. In most cases, it was in position, waiting it, timing it, kind of setting them up and going and getting it. Great talking on the backside for the help, which it's typically going to be a struggle, especially in high school. It's that backside help where people start watching the ball too much, and then they forget about their where they're supposed to be. But yeah, I'm very impressed with how they played.
Yep.
So you had your big two coming back, your big two starters from last year, Coughlin and Dodson combined for 40 points. Dodson jumped out there 22 and Coughlin with 18. Then Watkins coming in with 11 points, a nice solid game from her as well. And she's one of the few that's actually had a lot of varsity minutes playing for you. And
she left some easy ones out there on the table as well. I thought, which is uncharacteristic of her, because she does a really good job finishing, especially in traffic. And we could have had 3 right there at 20 very easily, with those girls.
Yeah, that was again great to see. Then and having Swafford the ball coming in, and then Hutton the freshman get some moments and stuff and do it.
Yeah, and she's her. So first off, Bryson Swafford, man, she has really picked it up. I gotta give her some credit, because she has really picked it up on the defensive end, especially in the last couple of weeks. Like, you can see it really clicking with her right now, and she's really understanding her role. She's doing great things. I see her improving daily. Like she's been limited years with us, and she's just getting better and better right now. And Riley Ball's doing a great job as well, especially defensively. And she's really getting comfortable towards the post for us. She's not really been a post for us, but where we're at this year, that's where she's at, and she's got a nice little. She's really using her left hand well, and doing some great things in there. And Madison Hutton, the last 2 days of practice, she's looked like a totally different player. I'm excited to see what she does this weekend. She's starting to get a little confidence. Being a freshman, it's kind of intimidating, and she's starting to get that confidence now, and it's been showing the last couple of days of practice. And I really hope it projects her forward, because she's going to be, by the end of the season, she's somebody that could really be a threat.
Oh, definitely. And just adds to the options that you already have offensively with the team. And I was watching her specifically at the start of that game when she first came in. Defensively, she looked comfortable. She, in her position, because I think she went to that. I can hold on to this. I can do this. And you saw her talking, which again, for a freshman to come in and do is kind of a surprise. And then offensively, she got more kind of comfortable within the flow. But again, that's a big challenge, even though she was able to play with them this summer. Like you said, that's always a big jump. And by the end of the season, it's going to be great.
You play with somebody in the summer, and the pressure's really not on you. I mean, you're playing at a different level, but the pressure isn't there. But you come into high school atmosphere, packed crowd, your first varsity game, lights come on, and all of a sudden, that youthfulness can come out. And she did do a really good job on the defensive end and holding it together. And she didn't hurt us offensively, but I knew what she's capable of offensively, and it's really came out the last 2 days. I mean, she's shooting it well, and she's putting it on the floor and going right at those girls and using her length and size to her advantage. And she's just going to get better.
And she'll be a nice matchup problem, because when she comes in, you got the bigger girls that you're going to face. A lot of those teams have those big girls, but they're not typically the kind of. She's a pretty athletic, big, 5'11", 5'10", 5'11" she is. So you start off with Cap City, and now you jump right into the fire with this Carthage Invitational. I mean, loaded up, and it's not a tournament. I guess it's a shootout. It's how they have it set up.
Yeah, so it's a shootout. So it's kind of like a border battle. It's got 3 Missouri teams playing 3 out-of-state teams, and we're just matching them up like that all the way through this. And there's some solid teams, and we'll see what we're made of this weekend. I mean, we come out of there and win a few ball games in there. We've done something, because they're solid.
So you got Fort Smith, Arkansas tonight, 6 p.m. start.
Yep.
That's going to be your first game. They're 4-1 on the season.
5-1. They won Monday night. So 5-1 on the season. Really, really athletic team. Maybe one of the most athletic teams we might see this year. I mean, from top to bottom, a lot of athletes on there, a lot of size. Do really well off the bounce, a lot of dribble drive action. We're gonna see what that defense is tonight.
Because you can watch that on Misha TV. So Misha.tv has it streamed. I found that. Anywhere else?
The Huddle fan link. If you go to our Facebook page, I posted it this morning. Our Huddle fan link, they'll have that on there. You can follow us through the weekends off of that Huddle fan link.
Great. I'll make sure I reshare that as well. And then, so again, because it's the shootout, you already know your schedule. Which again, I like the shootout format. That way, you definitely can get matchups.
Yeah.
I just having a discussion with this from a basketball trainer down in Springfield, and question about why so many places have turned to shootouts versus tournaments. Well, in tournaments, when you see them, you get that 1 versus 8, which isn't really good for either team.
Yeah.
And here you can get matchups and get that solid, competition. And you have it. Bentonville, Arkansas will be your Friday competition. Now, they were 2-2. I don't know if that's changed or not. But that they play some tough competition. Again, they're a solid team.
They've won their last 2. Very well coached, disciplined team. They're going to show us something that we not used to seeing. They got 2 girls that are 6'2".
Oh, wow.
And 3 good guards to go with them. So I mean, it's going to be a different look tomorrow night of what we're seeing tonight. Still play upbeat, fast. Really good guard play, shoot the ball pretty well, and then some post presence inside. So once again, our defense is going to be challenged, and something that could be our Achilles heel all year is some height, and we're going to see what we can do with that height. And I feel like we're up for the challenge though.
So with the shootout, the great thing about the shootout is it's concentrated, but those are back-to-back days. So you're gonna have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So your time to plan for the next team is really limited as you're trying to squeeze everything in and kind of get a general preparation for, okay, let's if we have size, we do this. If we have guards, we're doing this. But you don't get that chance to have a day or two off to really focus your defense in on what they need to do. So you're going to go from, real heavy guard play, I think with Fort Smith, to again having that size with the guard play with Bentonville. So then you finish off Saturday at 1 p.m. against a prep school out of Kansas, this time Sunrise Christian, which I'm not familiar with it on the girls' side, but I know on the boys' side, they are a top nationally ranked powerhouse year in, year out. And right now they were 2-0.
Yeah, I think they're 4 or 5-0 right now.
Because they had a couple early on that I don't think they counted because they're playing up in the prep school. They're playing like all collegiate type, like small collegiate school, or like JUCOs early on that don't necessarily go to their setting.
Yeah.
And
that's gonna be a handful as well. We're gonna see what we got left in the tank by Saturday. Another really good program. We didn't get a chance to play them last year, but they lost to El Dorado Springs in overtime by 3, who had actually beat us in that championship last year, this tournament. And another really, really good program that's already got some games under the belt, and we're just gonna see what we can do by Saturday.
I'll tell you, it's a good competition. That's one of the things you've always went after, is where can you find that good competition to prepare you for the season, and get you battle tested off the bat. And then now you can use the rest of the season learning from these challenges that you faced early to help you build on for that playoff run that we're going to be seeing from you at the end of the year.
Yeah, it was tough to fill that schedule this year, once we become independent, and some of the games aren't ideally what I would have wanted. But this tournament, we're going to see some really good teams, and this is going to be good for our girls that hasn't had a lot of experience, because now they can see, all right, this is what we need to do. And I keep telling them, it's not about what we do this year or right here off the bat at the beginning of the season. It's what happens at the end of the year.
Exactly.
We've had a lot of years here where we've been 25-4, 23-4, and ran into a gauntlet in the district championship and didn't make it out of it. So trying to prepare ourselves with games like these right here just to help prepare us for that last game of the season, and that way we can be used to something of that caliber.
And that's a great way to do it. Then you come out of the tournament, and then we got Jeff City, I believe, right? You're going up to the Lady Jays.
Yeah.
At Jeff City on the 9th. So coming back on that
really
Monday.
physical team. Kay Foster does a good job with them, and they'll be ready to go. They haven't played a game yet, so she's going to have a lot of time to prepare for us. But
a lot of film to be able
to watch. But I do know that she puts something on the floor every year that's going to compete, and really, really physical team from what I've heard. So
I was going to say, I just remember a couple years ago seeing some of those videos on some of the physicality of that.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll finish up next week at home against Blair Oaks. So 7 p.m. on.
We're home next Thursday night. And if you want a chance to watch us play, come out and support us Thursday night, because we're not home again until the holiday tournament. And then we have one game at home in January, and you won't see us again at home until February. Okay. So we're on the road a lot this year. So if you want an opportunity to watch us play, Blair Oaks next Thursday night.
Right. Yeah, so make sure you do that. Tune in, watch them tonight on the fan huddle, and we'll make sure we share that inside the huddle as well. You can go to the Lady Bulldogs Facebook page. I'm sure the Booster Club will have that posted out there. Also, Misha TV, I think, has a similar link for you. So there's ways to do that, and we'll do that. So before we go, I just want to kind of recognize some of our sponsors. Again, always appreciate. We've got the Wands Skills Academy. Kobe Wands does a great job. We've talked about him before. Works out, I know, some of the girls for your program, and again, the boys program as well. 2-time All-State player. Appreciate Kobe and everything he does. Angie Reese from MVP Apparel. Appreciate that, man. Look at this awesome hat right here. Provide some swag for the Bulldogs. Appreciate her. Dan Collier, State Farm agent. He's not just a great neighbor, good neighbor. He's a great neighbor. Appreciate Dan, everything he does for our athletics program. And last but not least, Phelps County Bank. They do a great job in a lot of activities around here, helping out in a lot of ways. We're going to be helping out with some of our SIR teams, our youth basketball teams this year. Appreciate them. Bankers by day, Bulldog fans by night. Go to mypcb.com. So I guess my one question for you is, you're going to Carthage. This is your second year in a row down there.
Yep.
And what have you found to be the best place to eat in Carthage?
Well, we haven't eaten in Carthage.
Really?
Yeah, we went to Joplin.
Went to Joplin. Okay.
Yeah, we stayed in Carthage last year. I'll tell you the best place not to stay in Carthage. And if you was with us, last year, you'll know. If you know, you know. Yeah. So I'll tell you the best place not to stay. We're staying in Joplin this year, and but not sure of the best place to eat in Carthage. But after this weekend,
where's your go-to spot in Joplin then?
We'll the hospitality room in the in the tournament.
All right, that's
but
great.
After this weekend, we'll tell you the best place to eat in Joplin.
All right, man. Appreciate that. So good luck tonight and this weekend in that Carthage Invitational Tournament, and hopefully we're going to catch up with you probably maybe next week or something in preparation maybe for the home game. So for Coach Charlie Parker, I'm Tom Brown from Inside the Huddle, the Heart of the Game. We'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot. Go Dogs.